found my brother. He brought him to me. Here's your brother. He had a friend with him. Take him. There was evening. Take him, and I want you to bring both of them tomorrow morning right here. Says, I promise you I'll be here tomorrow morning. I took those two guys to my shop. It was middle of the night. I had a wash basin, quite big. I took the wash basin and I went to the kitchen and I said to the friend, he was a friend of mine, he was the cook in the kitchen. I said to him, I found oh yeah? They hung his a friend, they died skeletons. My brother was up to here to me. He grew up to the war, he grew up. He was a little kid, skinny little kid. He filled it up with cereal. I don't remember what kind of cereal it was. You remember? Okay. On top,
corn something.
And on top of it, they put marmalade on top of it. I brought it to my shop. Those two guys got a hold of it. 5 minutes, no longer. It was finished. They finished it up. And we sat all night and we talked about all kinds of things. Next morning, we didn't sleep. I said, I got to bring you back to the guy, to the officer, because otherwise he's going to be after me. I brought him into him. He's still in the same spot. I tell him, I promise you I'll bring him here. Here they are. Now I need another favor. Oh my God, I was saying again, start all over again. Cursing me. Oh my God. Put a gun to my head again. And I said, go ahead. I don't care. I have my brother. That's enough of him. You can shoot me. He said, put the gun away. He said, what do you want now? So I said, I want you to assign my brother to him, to me. So he started thinking. He said to me, take him and verschwind. You know what verschwind is? Get lost. Take him and get lost. The other guy wouldn't let go. He put him back down. He said, I give you a brother, but no, I can't give you a brother. So anyway, since then I take care of him. And he listened to me because so little. Now I can't do anything because he's too big for me. I still take care of him, but he don't listen anymore. So since then he was with me. And as I was doing the same thing, and he was building barracks. One day, I usually go the same road with my toolbox. I see on the corner of one barrack the commandant of the camp with a deputy chief of police standing. I don't want to go by. I stood away from them. I went to the barrack next to it, and I went to the window. I saw him, and I could hear what I say. He said, my brother was on the top of a barrack, right on top of it. And the commandant of the camp said to the deputy chief, who is that guy upstairs? He looks like a kid. What is he doing? Call him down, I want to talk to him. He calls him down. He goes to him, he said to him, the commandant says to him, how do you know what to do? You're a young kid, what are you doing over here on top of the roof? So he's telling him, my brother is telling him, I built those parts for those barracks. I came from a sawmill which built those parts. I don't know, hit him and kicked him, I forgot already. What did he do? No. He make you smart, that's why you're so stupid? Anyway, he hit, I don't know what he hit him, I forgot already. He said, go back. He sent him back. After he went away, the commandant of the camp, his officers always around him. The deputy chief of police called him again down. He called him down and asked him, what is your name? So he told him his name. He says, Bernie, anytime you need something, or you need clothes, or you need food, you come to me and I'll take care of you. So he made a friend with the deputy chief of police. He'd do anything for him. That's why he got shoes, got everything else. Food, and that came, like I told you, all my friends were in the kitchen, so I didn't have too much, but I had enough to sustain me. After a while, like I said, I was working. Another officer came over to me, and he says to me, I want you to go to my quarters again. One officer talked to the other, they all talk between each other. They didn't know me because I passed them by every day. I want you to go to my quarters, and you have to fix a lot of work there. It was during the night. And he was on the post, and I went to his quarters. I forgot what. I spent all night fixing it. I could fix anything at that time. In the morning I finished, and I come over to him. He was still under it. I said, "You all done in this?" And he said, "Okay, go ahead." So I went to my back, to my barrack, and I went on the bunk and I go to sleep. I didn't fall asleep yet. 2 policemen come over. Emil, they knew me and I knew them. The commandant of the police wants you. I had no choice. I had to get up and I went with them and I went to the headquarters of the police. They had a building right in the camp. And in the office was nobody there, only the commandant of the police. And I sit on the bench, "You wait here, I'll be with you in a minute." He walks into the other room, leaves the door open just a bit. I look inside, he's shaving. He's shaving himself. So I said, "Now is my chance. What am I going to say? I'm sleepy." I walked out and I went back to my bunk. I had some nerve. I don't know why. I would never do it now. I went to my bunk and I lay down. It didn't take 10 minutes. The same cops came over again. "He's ripping, man. He's going to kill you now. He wants you back." And I went back to him. I had to go. And he was so mad. He didn't hit me or anything like that. He called the 2 policemen. He told me on the bottom of the camp was a big house, a building. It was painted white. That building, they call it the White House. It was all white paint. Every time they called Jewish people in the city on false paper, they had false papers, and they had stooges going around the tramways, and they should send them people. Every time they caught somebody, they put them in the basement of that building. Next morning, they took them out and they executed. On top of the hill where the fortification, there were like trenches all around. And they shot them. And every day was the same thing. Those trenches we had to watch every day because they brought truckloads of people from the city, brought them up the hill in front of them. We had to go up the hill and watch when the machine gun them. There were a lot of Catholic priests. The way we don't know the people, we didn't know them, but we knew they were Catholic priests because they had long cassocks. So we know the Catholic priests. So we had to watch him. After we watched him, we had to cover him and go back to work. Anyway, the 2 cops took me and put me in that building. They put me in that basement. I walk in that basement, there's a young couple and 2 kids. They were yelling, they were crying, they were screaming. Terrible. I don't blame them. They knew what's waiting for them. I felt so sorry, but I took the kids, I talked to the kids. I talked to the parents. I know what's waiting for me too, because once in there, that's it. All day long I tried to talk to him, calm him down. I couldn't calm him. Naturally, I understood. And I was used to it, I didn't care anymore. So I talked to them, I took the kids on my lap and I talked to them. All day. In the evening, the same 2 policemen come over. They open the door and they say to me, "We got orders to let you go to your barrack." I was surprised. So I said, "Okay, how about what are you going to do with the couple with the 2 kids? You going to leave them here? You know what's going to happen tomorrow morning with them?" So he says, "No, what can we do?" So they talk to each other. And you know what they said to me? "Take all 4 of them with you." I saved 4 lives that time. I took them out and I brought them to my barrack. I don't know what happened to them after, but I saved their life that time. I don't know what happened to them later. Who was waiting for me? My brother. He said to me, you know how you got out? I found out that they took you and put you in that house. I went to the deputy police chief, but told him to come over. And I told him my brother was put in there. So he said to him, that's what he tells me, I don't know if he's lying or not. He said to me, he told them, "Don't worry, he'll be back to evening." And sure enough, he got me out. That's how he saved me once. Since then he was with me all the time. That was beginning of 1944, or middle of it. It took quite a long time. And it was day in and day out the same thing. Every day we were lined up on the big space, every block separate. And every block was counted every day how many people in that place. My barrack, the 200 of us, we were always in the front. It was on the bottom of the hill. That was every day. Every day went down the same thing. One Sunday, they lined us up, same way. The difference was they ordered us to go one by one down the hill. Not far from Biak, here to the wall. There were desks or tables with SS officers sitting at the tables with paper in front of them. And we had to pass them by. We went down, there was the commandant of the camp, a few old German officers, and Dr. Mengele. I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. Mengele. Okay? He was there. That's the first time I saw him, and that's the last time I saw him. Everybody has to pass. It took all day long for the whole 35,000 people to pass him by. And he dictated, he said, whatever he felt like, he dictated we had no names, we had numbers. He dictated the numbers to the desk, to the people and they wrote down the names, he called them. And that went down all day. After the day was over, they dismissed us. We had back to the barracks. A week later was the same thing, lined us up again. In the same way, they counted us, and they were a group of SS, quite a few of them, with lists in their hand, paper. And they went around every block with the lists. They came over to him and they took him. They took him because apparently he gave him his number. They took him away, and I looked down the road was right below me, and I see, oh my God, I don't like what I see, but there's nothing I can do. People, old people, sick people, kids, people who can even stand, skeletons. And I saw those people, I know something's going to go on here. And my brother's right there, so I know what's going to happen. And nothing I can do about it. All of a sudden, my brother shows up. He shows up. Anybody saw Schindler's List, the movie? The kid was running away. That was him. That was him. He came over to me and I said, what can I do for you? Now, I don't know what to do. By luck, I had 2 jackets on me. Because, like I said, I knew all of it, so I was a little cold, so I had 2 jackets. But 2 notes in my numbers. First thing I thought, let me take 1 jacket and put it on him. I put 1 jacket and put it on him. And I said, go any place, anybody, just stay there. Just stay there. He did it. I told him, he'd listen to me then. All of a sudden, the troopers came over, looking all over the place. It took hours and hours. They couldn't find him because he had my numbers. They're looking for the number. So finally, the people started screaming, running around. The German was afraid. There was only a few SS guards. They were afraid people were going to run them over. So they took the people on the road. They took them away, and they stopped looking for them. And then they dismissed us. That was it. That's how he was saved. A week later, the people
you come to the barracks. I didn't have any food.
Bernie, let me finish.
I'm listening to him. I'm listening to him.
You know why you listen to me? Because I have a cane here.
Mine is bigger.
Anyway, I'm kidding now. Anyway, a week later, the people brought those people came back. You know, like I told you, I knew almost everybody. They told me they took them to Auschwitz. All those people on that road, they were gone. But my brother wasn't on the list. He was gone. Everybody had a ration in the block. You get a piece of bread and a little water soup. He was off the list. didn't have any food assigned to him. So somehow he made it because I was with him. Anyway, he went again to the same deputy chief. And he told him, I don't get any food. He said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Sure enough, next day, he got his rations back. But he said to him, you know, following Sunday, I remember even the days, the commandant of the camp wants to see you. And the chief of police was with him. So he said to the deputy chief, take him down to him because he wants to see you. Make sure, try to save him, because I don't know what he's going to do. He took him, he brought him down to the commandant of the camp on the bottom of the hill. Like I told you, we were the first block. And he went to him. What he told me, I wasn't there, but he's telling me, he asked me, how did you run away? So I said, he told him, I didn't run away, I just walked away, nobody stopped me. Where were you hiding? I wasn't hiding. I'm repeating what he told me. I wasn't hiding, I just said nobody found me. So, you know, he hit him, he kicked him. I don't know what he did to him. He hit you?
He kicked me, get up, hit me again.
He let him go. The chief of police talked to him, you know. Somehow he saved his life. He came back to me.
Probably told him, this is the little boy
Yeah.
who you called from the barrack, from the top of the roof.
That's how he was saved.
And he kicked me, go get.
That was the story in that camp. All of a sudden, that was in 1944.
44.
Right. The Russian army started coming west. They started coming closer and closer, and they're pushing the Germans away. And the Germans got closer and closer, so the German in the camp, I don't know what they were, they ordered everybody to work, take the barracks down. Take all the barracks and tear them down. And we had to go to the hill, dig out the fortification with the people they shot over the years. We had to dig them out, put them on a pile and put them on fire. They know the Russians coming, they don't want them to find anybody there.
Evidence, they're trying to get rid of the evidence.
Right. You can't imagine how what a job it I don't even want to talk about it. Terrible. Anyway, after the barracks were gone, they were taken apart. They left them there. And they transferred us. The SS were gone too. They took all the guns except the towers.
You didn't tell them that all the people got shipped out to different camps.
That's what I'm trying to say. I didn't get to it yet.
Oh.
They didn't tear down the barracks with the people inside.
Okay.
They brought trains, and they put all those $35,000. Took 3 or 4 days to load them up. Trains were lined up, and they shipped them. I don't know where they went. I never saw anybody from that where they shipped out. The 200 of us, they left from that barrack. And I arranged before him to be with me. Because like I told you, I knew the policeman, I knew everybody. Anyway, they put us in the quarters where the SS lived. They had barracks, brick barracks, very nice. On the bottom, where they lived, they put us in those places, in the barracks, no, there wasn't barracks, well, buildings. That's where we used to stay. Also bunks and everything. There was so much food left. Can you imagine in 2 days they had storage, everything was stored. 35,000 people went away. There was bread laying stacked up in those barracks. Anybody could take anything they want because it was all left. So that time we had enough food. I knew, like I told you, I had to go to any barrack I want, any place in the camp I could go. I remember there was a barrack on the bottom of the camp that trucks pulled up every day in an unloaded fur boots, aviation boots from the Germans, fur high boots, warm clothes, jackets, pants, all winter stuff, they got it from the front, whatever they picked up from the dead German soldiers, and they put them there. And they had the women wash them in the laundry area, and they fixed them up and they put them back there in that barrack. And I remember that they put them in that barrack. So one day I got up in the middle of the night, and I went out and I went to that barrack. I had no idea how I got in there. Either I broke a window, I opened the door somehow. I got in and I picked 2 pairs of each. 2 pairs of high boots, 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of high jackets, 2 pairs of everything, winter. And I made 2 trips. I brought them to my quarters because they was closed, because that time we lived where the SS lived. And I put them under the bunk. And I didn't say, nobody knew, but it was middle of the night. And that was it. 2 weeks later, and the Russian army was closer and closer. We heard the fighting, the rockets, and whatever it was. I said to my brother, many days they're gonna kill us or gonna ship us out. Nothing we could do about it. The charge of that time was only 4 SS guards. The in charge was old sergeant, SS sergeant. He was in charge of us, 200 of us. One day, orders came. Tomorrow morning, we're going to walk. We're going to out the camp because the Russians are too close. In the morning, we woke us up very. I don't know what time it was. I said to Bernie, to him, take you, strap clothes off, leave them under the bunk, put all the clothes you have on, put the boots on, put everything on. Now they're all disarrayed. The Germans are going like chicken with our heads because the Russian was coming right away. He got one's boots, everything, winter, and I got the same thing what I brought before. That was saved our lives. He put it, nobody paid attention. Sure enough, they took us out, we started walking. By that time was the evening, we walked to the city of Krakow. Right to the city, people were yelling, run away, run away. We couldn't run away, who can run away? You run away, they give you up anyway. So we had no chance. So we walked for 2 days. On the road, we stopped in sheds, stalls, barns. We slept in barns for 2 days. Finally, after 2 days, we wound up in Auschwitz. We walked in snow. We came to Auschwitz, we went in, they wouldn't keep us. There were so many people laying on the floors. The crematorium, smoke was going, smoke, terrible. They wouldn't say, we have no room. They didn't have a chance with so many people to kill all of us. So they wouldn't accept us. We started walking again. We walked to Birkenau, which is a satellite came next to it. We walked in there. They let us in, but we had no room in the barracks. So winter, January, there was January 1945, right? And we were outside, sitting in the snow, and we were there 2 days. No heat, just outside, no food either. 1 day, 2 days later, they took us out, we started walking again. We wound up in a city by the name of Gleiwitz, which is right on the border of Germany. Auschwitz is maybe 10 miles from the German, but always was. That Auschwitz was 10 miles from the border of Germany. So we walked from there to Gleiwitz, the first city in Germany. We came to Gleiwitz, they brought us to the station. There were trains lined up on the station. Open cars, train cars, no roof, the open cars, railroad cars. They put us in like herring. It was all squeezed in. We had to stay. The only water we had, lick snow with somebody else's back. That's the only water we had. We didn't have. We took some bread, but I told you it was lined up. It was left. Everybody, he had 2 breads. I had 2 breads in my, and everybody on this belt, we had a pot. Everybody had a pot because never know what we were going to eat. So everybody had a pot. That was natural for everybody. They put us in a train, and finally the train started going.